Righto then. Well, today I've got something quite interesting to go ahead and show you. But before I do that, you should notice that the video quality is vastly improved over my previous videos, and that's because we're now recording on a far better camera. So once again, thanks to all the donors and people who support this channel that made that possible. Now onto the actual video. This is a £25 smartphone. And it's no secret that modern smartphones are getting increasingly more and more expensive, but I wanted to see what you could do on the absolute cheap. Now, a lot of people are probably wondering, well, why would you buy this thing? This thing is clearly a dinosaur. Put it down, you're going to get dust on your hands. Well, the reason I got this is because this is one of the few smartphones out there that is capable of running more or less 100% free and open source software. Now, this isn't de-googling or anything like that. If you de-google a phone, it still has proprietary software. Once I'm done with this thing, it won't have any proprietary software. But sadly, this video won't really be about that because I don't want to alienate people who aren't familiar with free and open source software. So if you're interested in free and open source software, consider this a video that's kind of a bit of a trailer for things to come. But no, instead in today's video we're going to go ahead and take a quick look at what you get with a £25 smartphone. Now I've got to say, this thing is actually very impressive given the fact that some people out there have probably spent more than that on a meal. And I've got to say, this thing is worth a hell of a lot more than asking price of £25. And this isn't some ridiculous thing that I won in a bid or something that I've found by repairing an old phone that was broken. No, these things regularly go for that price and they're probably worth it. Now, to take a quick look at the phone, I can't begin to tell you how small and light this thing is. Modern phones have actually probably gotten heavier and bigger. This thing easily fits in your hand. It's very lightweight. It is plastic, which is probably why it's so lightweight, but it does feel well put together. You've got all the usual things you would expect from a phone. You've got front and back cameras, because once upon a time phones didn't even have those. Sadly, you've still got micro USB, but that's to be expected on an older device. No USB-C here. And this is where this phone's sort of party trick comes in. So if we get at the top here, the whole back piece comes off, and you can replace the battery. There's a micro SD card slot, and of course there's a SIM card slot. Very impressive. You don't tend to get that on modern devices. So let's just go ahead and pop this back on. Also, I should point out, you do in fact get a headphone jack, and I believe this phone has a built-in radio. So now with that said, let's go ahead and turn this thing on. It probably doesn't come through on the camera, but this is actually an AMOLED screen. I've got to say, even compared to a lot of phones, this thing still looks really, really nice. I think it's a 720p screen as well, and as you can see, it is really, really nice. Now, this phone is getting on a bit, as you would imagine, but like I say, it's £25. I think this thing has a gig of RAM, a dual-core processor, and all that sort of stuff, so it is old, but like I say, you'll get by completely fine with it. As you can see, we've got the F-Droid store up here, and you can see that it looks really nice on that AMOLED screen. Scrolling is pretty smooth. The one problem that you might have is that this is running an old version of Android, as you would imagine, and it really is quite an old version of Android, and some apps no longer support it, which might be a bit of an issue. But if you're going to get one of these devices, I would recommend that you put a custom ROM on it. This thing is fully supported by several custom ROMs, and most significantly for us, it's fully supported by Replicant, which is a fully free and open source Android operating system, which is actually one of the only mobile operating systems which is officially supported, or I suppose officially kind of recognized by the GNU Foundation. So if you want to just completely get rid of proprietary software, this might be a good phone for you, and absolutely bargain price as well. Now, it's not fast, as you can see. Some things are fast, other things aren't, and I think a lot of the slowness is probably just caused by all the Samsung bloat, so I suspect if you were to install a custom ROM it would be much faster. But to demonstrate that you can in fact run new and modern software on here, we're going to go ahead and have a mess around with TikTok. Now, before I open TikTok, I'm going to say all that I need to say, because I feel like once I open this up, we're going to get a lot of copyrighted music, so I'm going to probably have to mute this segment of the video. But yes, this phone can run TikTok. It's not fast, but once again, bear in mind that this thing is £25, and I think if you installed a custom ROM on it, it would probably run, well, pretty much as fast as you would want it to. Now, I've seen, some kids these days, and pretty much all they care about is TikTok. So hey, if you can get them dirt cheap device. It can run TikTok. I feel like that's probably going to be more than enough for a lot of kids, and probably, like, you know, grown adults this is going to be absolutely fine for, because yeah, it's a phone. You can make calls, you can make texts, you can browse the web, it's all fine. And indeed, I might actually try and sort of almost challenge myself to daily driver this at some point and make a video about that, but we'll just kind of see where we go from here. So let's go ahead and open up TikTok and just see what happens. Now, I actually don't know how this works. I have to make an account just to demo this. But from what I can tell, it works fine. So as you can see, it's a little bit slow to launch, but once again, you can probably fix that. And eventually, and I'm going to just leave this to load so you get an idea of how long it takes to load, but eventually you get your video. And as you could see from that, playback on TikTok worked absolutely fine. So you can run modern apps on this thing. So I know that this video wasn't super long, but consider it a bit of a trailer for things to come on this channel. I'm going to go ahead and completely get rid of all proprietary software from this device. I'm going to show you how you can do that, and then I'm going to go ahead and have a look at what Android is like to use without any proprietary software. So stay tuned for that. But with that said, that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.